This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on January 4th, 2023, and was posted on Borough Hall website at www.hbborough.com and on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, 221 South Fifth Avenue, Highland Park, New Jersey, and has remained continuously posted as required by law. In addition, notice of this meeting via Zoom was emailed to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on May 12, 2023, and was posted on Borough Hall website at www.hbborough.com and on the bulletin board of Borough Hall at 221 South Fifth Avenue in Highland Park, New Jersey, on May 12, 2023. And has remained continuously posted as required by law. Fire exits are to my right and my left of council chambers. Roll call.
Mayor Foster.
Here.
Councilwoman Canavera.
Here.
Councilman George.
Here.
Councilman Hale.
Here.
Council President Hirsch.
Here.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan. Councilman Pistonik. Special Counsel Bauman. Borough Administrator Hobert.
Here. Chris, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. There is no minutes. Resolution number 2023-06 executive session, regular meeting redevelopment, negotiation track C, redeveloper negotiation Cleveland Avenue, redeveloper negotiation track A.
Motion.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Canavera.
Yes.
Councilman George.
Yes.
Councilman Hale.
Yes.
Council President Hirsch.
Yes.
It is now time for public comments. Each speaker has 3 minutes, but can comment on any topic. The borough clerk will monitor the time and will offer a 30-second remaining and then indicate when 3 minutes has lapsed. Each session will be wrapped up. The session will be wrapped up by 9 p.m. The borough clerk will monitor the time and indicate when 3 minutes has lapsed. She will give you a warning when there is 30-second remaining. There will be a hard stop at the 3-minute mark to make sure that everyone has a chance to speak. As a reminder, I may interrupt, warn, or terminate a participant's statement if the statement does not adhere to the 3 minutes provided, or if the statement is disruptive to the orderly conduct of this public meeting. It is repetitive and not on topic that is relevant to the borough governing body. Comments from members of the public attending in person will be heard first, followed by members attending via Zoom. To speak on Zoom, you can raise your hand or press *9 on your keypad. To unmute yourself, press *6. I'll begin by those in the audience first. Please give us your name and your address. We have none in the audience, Terry?
No, and I don't see any hand raised. Oh, I do see a hand raised, and just for the record, we're at 12 attendees on Zoom. The hand I see up is MSB FRCT. If you could please state your name and address for the record before you get going with your comment.
Hi, this is Mary Botion, 709 Madison Ave. And I noticed that the Cleveland Avenue redevelopment plan includes many parcels, including several of our homes. So I'm wondering at what point will those of us who are in this redevelopment parcel be advised of who the redeveloper is? And when can we participate in the drafting of whatever plan you have in mind.
Mary, as I've said before, and we will make available an opportunity for members of the public to make comments on the plans that we have. This will not be done in secret. Everyone will have an opportunity to weigh in on the proposed plan.
But Elsie,
I don't have a time at this moment. You're asking for a specific time. We don't have a time. We're working through some stuff. As soon as that time becomes, a date at a time becomes available, I will let everyone know from the dais, on the website, and everywhere else. We'll publicize when that meeting, the time and the date for a meeting.
well, my question is this. My parcel is actually part of the resolution for a redevelopment planning services for Cleveland Ave. So I'm not just a member of the public, I'm a member of this identified redevelopment area. So wouldn't it make sense for those of us who are, you've already put us on the map for redevelopment to be part of the initial proceedings, as opposed to saying, well, here's what we've already decided, now you can comment on it. Why is my parcel in it?
I am not sure if your particular parcel is included in the plan. However, Terry, do you have any?
I'm
Background
familiar with
information on
Mary's property,
Mary's property.
and yes, it's in the area that's being considered for redevelopment. We don't have an area in need of redevelopment designation for this site. For any of the properties included, this is under the rehab statute. Just to be clear, no condemnation. This is a plan that the council authorized a number of years ago that we've kind of resuscitated and are catching up on. And just to maybe put you at ease, there's no redeveloper for your property contemplated. It's really kind of, the proximity to the other areas that we're interested in is why it's included in the study area. And like the mayor said, our practice is when we're ready to share a draft, it will be made available in time for comment and input prior to taking action.
So my question is this then, if you put in my parcel and other homes as well, which there are, as well as other commercial properties, but you're saying none of us are within the redevelopment plan at the moment that you're looking at, why are we still identified as parcels that are part of this redevelopment? And what is the advantage to us as homeowners to be part of this redevelopment plan if we do not have the opportunity to speak at these early stages then?
Mayor, I could clarify.
Yes.
We're doing a redevelopment plan for numerous, I don't have a graphic I can show right now handily, but that includes a number of parcels amongst which your property. Part of the motivation was there was a lot of varied zoning in the area that doesn't really comport with what the existing uses are. These are things that were identified in the master plan as part of our master planning process. And as you mentioned, this was authorized a while ago, and we're getting it back on a burner on the stove. I wouldn't even say the front burner at this point. And you will have an opportunity to comment, but we don't have enough of a concept to share at this point. There's no interest in, there's no motivation in changing your property from what it is now. I'll just make that as clear as I can. But we included it because of its proximity to the other parts of the corridor, which it varies significantly, as you know, because you know.
So given the proximity of my parcel and the other folks that you've put into the redevelopment plan for Cleveland Ave, again, shouldn't we be given the opportunity now to know who is the redeveloper that you are already negotiating with?
Just 1 second, Council Member Hill.
There is no redevelopment plan for Cleveland Avenue at this point. So just to be clear, there is no plan for the redevelopment of your parcel or the area. All it is preliminary discussions about
about the entire area. So there is no redevelopment plan at this point.
I know there's no redevelopment plan, but you're referring to redeveloper negotiations. Who are you negotiating with?
30 seconds.
Mayor, because our attorney is not here, I'm a little uncomfortable answering that. We don't have a designated redeveloper for this area. This is all very preliminary discussions. And I guess what I would share with you, it does not involve your property.
Right. Well, it does involve my property if I am listed on the map and in resolution 2023-3 as one of the redevelopment parcels. So I'd like to know who is the redeveloper that you are negotiating with or contemplating negotiating with after you close the public session.
We're not prepared to talk to that at this time, Mary.
Yes.
Time.
Thank you.
Yes, hold on one moment, Mayor. I just got next with a hand raised is Mary Forsberg. Please state your name and address.
Hi, Mary Forsberg, 317 Dennison Street. I'm also curious about what Mary Gauthier was talking about, because first I'd like to know, where was the original plan that you're talking about, an old plan that you're bringing back up? And why is it that you have a plan that includes, personal property of people who aren't necessarily wanting to sell, but also burnt chocolates and park therapy? I mean, both of those are successful ongoing businesses. So why would you even contemplate, taking over those spaces when, we have all sorts of vacant places? Like, how about looking at charter school? Why don't you come up with a plan to use the charter school area? I know that guy, the guy that owns it, doesn't necessarily want to do anything, but then again, probably neither do the people on Cleveland Avenue want to have their houses condemned to make some other thing. So where's the original plan that you're talking about? That's an old plan.
Councilmember Hale?
First of all, there is no plan. Second of all, there is no condemnation. Third of all, no one is taking houses. I mean, to say that anyway, I just, it's important to put it out there that there is no redevelopment plan of Cleveland Avenue. There is no redevelopment plan with condemnation powers. There is no redevelopment plan at all at Cleveland Avenue at this point.
So why are you talking about it if there's no plan?
Terry?
Just to clarify my words, we had an authorization to develop with LRK a redevelopment plan, and that is what we're doing. And we have some discussions about some specific properties that we want to have as they're privileged in executive session tonight, but we will be making the draft plan available publicly for everybody before action's taken to adopt it.
Well, I certainly hope that it would be before you take action.
Right, I just trying to be as clear as possible, Mary. I'm sorry if it seems obvious to you.
Mayor, I have a quick question. Oh, sorry.
1 second. Please join us because we have some questions that you may be able to help us answer as it pertains to Cleveland Avenue and redeveloper negotiation. There are some questions about why is certain properties in the area of redevelopment, and we just clarify that we are not condemning or taking anyone's private personal properties, but in order to do the redevelopment study, we're looking at that area. That's a quick update. Council President had a question.
This is not a legal question. I think it may provide some context though for the folks calling in. Because it's been a while. Can maybe
You want to go back to the master plan?
No. Maybe we can just briefly refresh the public on why this is really, it's to protect your properties. It's to protect from unconventional or irresponsible redevelopment that is not conforming to the zoning. There lacks uniformity, and obviously anybody who lives near the Cleveland Avenue corridor has experienced, a significant amount of development over the past few decades. And this effort is to really contain that and to follow guidelines that the public feels would be appropriate to take as further properties are developed over there, with schools, with homes. So is that a fair overview, Tim?
I think so, and as I just mentioned, we studied the corridor in particular when we worked on the master plan and the land use element in 2019, and this is kind of the next step coming out of that work that we didn't engage in, and the work on this plan was authorized a while back, and we're now at a point where we need to discuss with council some particulars before we're able to go any further. I do have another hand up there
Yes,
if you're ready.
please go
Okay.
ahead.
Excuse me. Yash Goyal, you're up next. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Yash Goyal. I'm a student reporter at the Daily Targum from Rutgers University. My question is, for these designated tracks, what is the goal for the public of the redevelopment draft plan process, and what would be the next step?
I'm not sure are you referring to the Cleveland Avenue plan specifically?
Just the overall plan. I know there was like 4 tracks A to D, which includes Cleveland Avenue.
No, that doesn't include
No.
Cleveland Avenue. That's
3
why
tracks.
the downtown redevelopment plan for tracks A to D are properties along our downtown area on Raritan Avenue. Cleveland Avenue, maybe you don't, I don't know if you live in Highland Park or not, is a bit outside, closer to the railroad line in Highland Park. So they have very different, they're very different in nature, and we'd be approaching them differently in our planning efforts.
So just to kind of re-clarify my question, is the council looking into redevelopment at this time for both areas, or just Cleveland Avenue, and what the goals for each are in seeking redevelopment?
Mayor.
Yeah,
so
so for track A and C, the 4 areas that are in the downtown. The goal there is to economically redevelop the downtown in a way that will produce more people living in town, spur development and economic development in the downtown. So there we're mostly guided by our effort to try and rejuvenate and economically develop the downtown. Cleveland Avenue, I think as Councilman just pointed out, is an area that has had sort of somewhat inconsistent development to date, and we thought that it's right for a redevelopment plan overlay that will provide us sort of a more consistent and a better ability to control the redevelopment that will happen there.
Great. And if I have time, my final question would be, is with this essence of economic redevelopment, do you hope to attract more Rutgers students or faculty living in these areas, or foster any sort of better relationship with the university?
I'm sure I can answer for us to say absolutely.
yes, absolutely.
All right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I do have some additional
Sure,
hands up.
go ahead.
Tina Weisshaus, you're up next. Please state your name and address for the record.
Actually, it's Ira Mintz, 143 North Fifth Avenue, using Tina's computer. Just a quick question as to why the discussions about the Cleveland Avenue track that you just referenced would take place in executive session rather than in public.
Yeah, so some of the conversation there, we would prefer to have in a way that, so the redevelopment process will be, you declare a redevelopment plan, you select redevelopers, you negotiate redevelopment agreements, and
likely the property owners. That might be in the development plan, would be part of the negotiation. So it's important for us to have some conversations that would exclude them from it, or potentially developers. It's not really designed to have us be a secret from the public necessarily, more from the potential developers we're gonna have to work with or negotiate with when it comes time to redevelop those areas.
Just to follow up, I'm confused. I thought, I mean, since the council took over this responsibility and these are public meetings and this is a public body, why wouldn't those discussions have to take place in public under the Open Public Meetings Act? I mean, I understand you made a preference to do it outside the public eye, but I'm not sure why that would be permitted.
So the Open Public Meetings Act, recognizes certain circumstances in which it's in the interest of the public for us to go into closed sessions and discuss certain items, right? So there's personnel, there's negotiation, litigation. This is under one of those exceptions. So we are complying with the Open Public Meetings Act.
And could you just tell me what exception that would be?
Expected in the contract negotiation.
Expected contract negotiations? Is that what you said?
Correct.
And this is a discussion about what a redevelopment plan might look like, or an endeavor to go out to someone to develop a plan? And that's,
I got to explain to you as much as I can, otherwise.
well, I'd rather, okay, I will look further into what you said, but I'd rather it not lead to a dispute over whether it should be in public if it needs to be in public, but we'll look into that further. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do see, I have two people who I have three hands up, two have already spoken. I have a new person.
A new
May I
person,
jump
new
to
person.
the new person? Gerald Pomper, you're up next. Please state your name and address for the record. Mr. Pomper, you may have to, oh, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm Gerald Pomper, 348 South Third Avenue. I came in a little late. Is there any news on the supermarket site? The mayor had said something that was quoted in the papers that there was an agreement, but she wasn't ready to announce it. I was wondering if there's anything she or any member of the council can tell us about that.
We do have an agreement. I will be meeting this week with the new property, the person that's the new supermarket owner that's gonna come in. After we have our meeting, I will make a public announcement. Stay tuned.
Well, congratulations. That's very good news, and I look forward to your announcement.
Thank you.
It looks like Mary Forsberg has her hand up again.
Okay.
Please state your name and address to confirm.
Mary Forsberg, 317 Dennison Street. I have two comments. One is you are doing a redevelopment area, talking about redeveloping Cleveland Avenue. Why is it that when you're doing track B, which are the two houses on Raritan Avenue, where the Sunoco station is directly next to it, BB Big is directly next to it, and now a house is for sale. Why haven't you ever done any kind of analysis of that? Because that, frankly, is the biggest eyesore in this town. And it seems to me that you ought to spend a little time thinking about things that are already unattractive rather than looking for successful businesses and nice houses to redevelop. My other question is, how is it that you've never done a survey to find out what kind of store people in Highland Park would like? I mean, I have heard that a rumor that Sprouts is maybe the store that might be coming to town. And I'm sort of curious about that because Sprouts is a nice store, but it's sort of like a Whole Food store. which would be very nice, but for low-income people, it's a potential problem. But why have you not made any attempt to find out what kind of store people in Highland Park would like to have come to town?
It's a fair enough question, but what people would like to have come to town and the people that are interested in us is two separate things. Many years ago, we spoke with Trader Joe. We also spoke with the other one. You just mentioned it.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, Trader Joe, and a bunch of others. And we searched high and low to see which supermarket was interested in coming to our town. And it was a lot of hard work trying to get someone that will fit in with our town. And yes, I have received this past year at least 50 different suggestions of what people would like to see in town. The supermarket that will be coming to town, I think it will fit into the demographic of Highland Park. And I think people will be very pleased with it.
Yeah, if I also could, we speak regularly about the Shell station and the two adjacent properties on either side. Two of them are in the redevelopment plan because that property owner is interested in redeveloping the property. We've spent a fair amount of time, staff, mayor, council, professionals, trying to persuade the Shell owner and the other property owner to maybe join together or something along those lines. So it's pretty hot topic among the team. We're just limited to what we can do, recognizing again that we don't really, in Highland Park, we're not prepared to use eminent domain and condemnation, for example. There's only so much you can do to encourage property owners to do something that they don't otherwise, that they have the discretion to do or not do. The same thing is sort of true for what stores may come or not come. We also have limited ability to influence that decision. It's going to be made by the individual property owners at the end of the day. And, we work really hard, the mayor and the team and the council, to entice the grocery store, meaning between all of us, we must have called half a dozen of them that we may know or someone knows, or contacted and visited and encouraged. And, we're really happy that we ultimately, and the property owner in particular, found someone that we think will make sense. But at the end of the day, our hands are somewhat tied. We only have so many tools in our toolbox to make those things happen. But to the Shell station, it's something I've been very hopeful that'll get a result someday. I really am, because I think that maybe there may even be a window. I don't know. And to the grocery store, that was just the governing body, the council, and the mayor, working really hard to try and tout Highland Park as a place that they need to be. And we're spending a lot of hours and hours with the property owner, sort of educating them on the redevelopment process and the opportunities here in Highland Park. And then particular grocery store, I personally have some experience with them, and I think it's going to be they're going to be a great neighbor for Highland Park. So, and I think the mayor says there's an agreement between the landlord and the tenant, and she's trying to be respectful of the property owner and the tenant to not reveal that ahead of time. So it's sort of the beginning and the continuance of the relationship that she's built with them. And that's why, for example, she's going to meet with them and have a discussion about the appropriate time to reveal that information.
But that doesn't really answer my question, because in A, B, C, and D, when you proposed a 3 to 5 story parking garage on land owned by Jim Polos and included a lot of his property in your redevelopment plan, I don't know whether he wanted to be part of that or not, but you did it no matter what. And I don't understand why you don't come up with something for the Sunoco station and for BB Big, for that whole area.
As our attorney just explained, Mary, that's what we're trying to do. Anyone else?
I believe it's Mary Botan. Please confirm it's you. And
Yes,
say your name.
Yep. Yeah, this is Mary Botian. I just wanted to find out that the gentleman who had walked into the meeting late and is sitting next to Tara, what is the gentleman's name? You can't read it on the Zoom.
I'm Joe Bauman. I'm counsel to executive
I'm sorry.
development.
I'm sorry,
Joe
what is
Baum.
it?
B.
The le-
Bauman. Bauman, B-A-U-M-A-N.
Okay, great. And Joe,
Yep.
again, I had asked before you came in, regarding the issue of my home, my parcel, as well as a couple of my neighbors are actually in this redevelopment plan, per resolution 202303. Our parcels are actually part of this designated redevelopment agreement, so to speak, or this redevelopment plan. We're getting some conflicting answers here in that several of the folks have said there is no actual plan, that this is something that they are contemplating to draft now, yet the resolution clearly states redeveloper negotiations, and you made it clear these are contract negotiations that are to be taking place. So I'm trying to understand a couple of things. One, not only as a member of this redevelopment area, would I like to know who is the redeveloper that you're already into contract negotiations with? If not even as a member of the outlying public, as a member of the redevelopment parcel, I would like to know that at this time. And why are we so far in the process of already negotiating with negotiating a contract if we haven't even developed the redevelopment plan yet for Cleveland Ave? So this seems like we're in a very awkward situation. Can you comment and answer these questions, Joe?
Yeah, sure. So there is no redeveloper at this point in time, but we were concerned that some of the conversations we're going to have, once we do select a redeveloper, we don't think that we would want them to have the benefit of those conversations. So it's an anticipated negotiation. There is no designated redeveloper today.
So when
all of this is going to be discussed in several meetings in the public.
well, as a member of the specific redevelopment area for Cleveland Ave, will those of us whose parcels are identified in resolution 202303 be brought into this process sooner than the public at large, since we are actually part of this redevelopment plan?
Yeah, we will definitely bring you into the process, yes.
30 seconds.
Prior to the general public.
I think it would be sort of simultaneous.
So not prior to the
We
general
sort of are.
public,
You kind of are the general public, so,
but we're part of the redevelopment plan.
right. I mean, you'll get notices, for example, that perhaps the public wouldn't get, but you will become aware of this. You are the public for this purposes.
But Joe, if you can let us know, we'd be given notice prior to the general public, being that our parcels are part of this redevelopment plan per resolution 202303.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the benefit of telling you at the same time or ahead of time.
I'd like it to be ahead of time, please.
Okay, we'll talk it over.
Anyone else, Jenny?
No, Mayor.
Okay, anyone else from the public wish to speak? Well, seeing that there is none, a motion to adjourn into executive session.
So moved.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you everyone for coming. Have a safe week. Thank you.